Yeah, this ain't your average cup of joe. Listen, I need it in the morning, I need it at night. He always keeps it brewing, he always keeps it tight. Just a little sip, it'll get you right. Terrence Pickett always be the one that gets the coffee right. The coffee's right, the coffee's right in my life. It's never a wrong time or a crime to get what's yours and to get what's mine. Come on. Coffee time in my life. Coffee time, feels so right. I need a little sugar, put it in my cup. Can you stir it, Terrence? Let me know what's up. And at the end of the show, you can brew another pot. Just make sure you make it hot. Come on.
And good morning, everybody, and to everybody, a good morning. Do me a favor, invite somebody, share. It's about to go down. It's coffee time. We're gonna kind of there was some stuff that I mentioned on yesterday. I want to give more clarity to, but this is probably the cousin to yesterday's show. One of the things that we opened up and we began to talk about, we talked about how God brought the woman to the man. It's a whole lot packed in that, meaning God's original way is that, don't get mad at me, but the way God had this thing designed originally is that the man wouldn't have to go looking. If the man was working, doing what he was supposed to do, he would meet and could possibly still be now. He could meet who he needs while he's at work. I think that's one of the problems with being unequally yoked. You meet people outside of the scope of your field. They don't understand you. They don't understand what you do. They don't understand who you're called to be in life, and you try and make them a spouse on the basis of physical attraction, and we know how dangerous that can be. So we make these mistakes by finding people who are not in our field. I'm gonna say that again. We meet people who operate, live, work outside of where our occupation leads us, and we try and make them become a part of our world. We try to make them understand us. We try to make them understand our world. And the tragedy in trying to get someone to see who's blind is that you will never have fruitfulness. You're going to be fruitless. You can't make a blind man see. There's a portion of you, there's a part of you that has been designed to go along with what you're called to do. For instance, I have an ear for music. I have an ear for it. I'm not possibly, I don't have the only ear for it, meaning there are others who have the ear as well, but I have a special ear for it because it's in me. I have an eye for excellence. It's in me. I have a special knack for building. I can tell you how to build anything. I'm living proof that you can build. Well, along with these characteristics, these traits that I have, there are special giftings that go along with it. That ear for music, there's also a voice for it. And it varies based on the person. It varies from person to person, the measure of gift, the type of gift. But what I'm saying to you, whatever you have a desire for, you have equipment for. Whatever you're skilled with, you have the tools for. So God's not going to give you a voice to sing and not an ear to hear. Because in order to operate in music vocal wise, you have to be able to hear the key that you're on. And a lot of the things that we do have in us are undeveloped. We've got the right stuff, but it's undeveloped. We've not had anybody to teach us. We've not had anybody to show us. And as a result of that, we lack maturity, or we lack skill set. We lack skillfulness in those areas. So now we're trying to find people to fit into a world, into a zone that we've been called to, that we are in, who doesn't have the skill set, mindset, in most cases, the desire to be there. Forgive me if I did not say good morning. Paula Tarver, good morning to you. Renee Jones, good morning. Star Brown, good morning to you. So this morning, this thing did that again. It did it again. Give me a second, y'all. So the heading or the topics of these lives have been altered by this this software, and I've got to figure it out because I want people to know what I'm talking about before they get on. So this morning we are talking about you can't live alone. You can't live alone. Do me a favor before I go any further. Do me a favor. Invite somebody. Share. Can you do that for me? Will you do that for me? Is it possible for you to do that for me? I know it's possible. It's a matter of the will. When I say invite somebody, share, there is something on your live. It looks like a person, and it says invite. You can invite others to watch it, and then you can share this broadcast. You can share it to your page. Yes, God, I yield. Good God, this coffee. I put cream in my coffee today. Sometimes I drink it black. Sometimes I put cream. When I use cream, I use oat milk or I use coconut milk. So this morning we're talking about you can't live alone. There's this Nikki Nicole Mitchell. Good morning. Tina White McPherson. Good morning. So there's this subjective attitude that has come across this generation that literally negates help, companionship, and they believe that they are equipped to do everything, and they believe that they, Kay Press, good morning. They believe, Joy Preston, good morning to you. They believe that they are equipped to do everything by themselves. They don't like people. They don't want to be around people. And these expressions are oftentimes shared in forums where people are. And how can you say things like this? And it's people that causes us to be who we are. I don't care who you are, who you proclaim to be. If someone doesn't notice it, you who you are. So we all have been created to do certain things. There are certain things all of us have been created to do. You have an assignment. I have an assignment. Your assignment is not mine, and mine is not yours. And inside of the assignment, God has equipped us with everything that we need to fulfill it. Most of the things that we need to fulfill the assignment on our life, they're there. You don't really know they're there because those things are undeveloped. They're untapped. And in order to tap into the resources of mechanics that have been planted in us, we have to literally hear the right things. It's our hearing that causes thing in us to come out of us. If we don't hear the right thing, it doesn't trigger the right thing. And if the right thing is not triggered in us, we don't know it's there. So we go seeking for things that we already have. Raquel Hill, good to see you this morning. So most of what we have, most of what we're called to do, what we are called to do, we're equipped for, but most of the things that are on the inside of us have to be developed. It has to be alerted. It's not that when someone says something to us that this thing is developed inside of us. No, it's when they say certain things to us, certain things inside of us are triggered. And that's both good and bad. You can trigger the wrong things by saying the wrong things. You can trigger the right things by saying the right things. And a lot of times, I'm telling you, we're sitting in places, we're sitting around people because it's our routine. It's what we do as a family. It's customary. It's a part of our tradition to do these things. And these things do nothing for us. They don't give us life. They don't speak to the life that is in us. They don't equip us. They don't give us what we need, but we have to do it because of maybe some title or maybe some position, some tradition. And we get further and further away from the things or the people that are actually triggering life inside of us. Now, the topic this morning is you can't live alone. When God created Adam, he said it's not good for him to be alone. We discovered yesterday that the word alone is not alone. It's not by yourself. It's not being by yourself. It literally, it's there's a term, it's anthropomorphic, and anthropomorphic is when we use tangible things to explain something that is divine and something that is beyond our finite mind. There are infinite and all-powerful God, or there's infinite information that God uses to trigger things inside of us. So if you are created, for instance, to designing is it's your hobby. It's what you like to do. Design, you have a special knack for designing. Then I do not believe that you're going to be in an environment that operates outside of the scope of what you're called to do. We've been confined to environments that do not speak to what's in us. If you are an astronaut, they make you to go to all kind of classes, all kind of schools. They put you in an environment where everything that it's going to be seen, viewed, everything that you need to know and learn, you are in that. If you ever been to NASA, everything in NASA speaks about space, and it equips you to understand what they do, why they do, where they do it. They have courses that walk you through places where they've managed to alter the gravity.
where you are literally floating like you're in space. There's no gravity there. Well, the reason they create these environments is they've got to get as close as the real thing as possible so that you are prepared as much as you can. So when you get there, you're educated. You know what to do. There's a part of you that have learned. And in our life, one of the things that we have failed to do is to get around and create environments that are conducive for our personal growth. I'm an alpha male. I'm a different kind of dude. And if you don't want to know the truth, don't ask me. And that for some people is intimidating. Hear me and hear me good. This is one of the reasons I could not stay on a corporate job, because I couldn't understand, in my mind, in my position, I respect you, I honor you, and I'm going to do what you tell me to do, especially if you are my superior. But don't ask me a question that you're not prepared to have the answer. And a lot of times the answers that I gave causes the one that's over me to be exposed. Well, my intentions wasn't to expose them. My intention was to answer the question. And once the answer came out, no matter how nice I was when I said it, the person or persons in the room felt targeted. So they would set me up. And I didn't know that people didn't want to hear the truth initially. Because I wasn't raised in that environment. The environment that I come from, the truth stands on its own. And we told the truth in our household. And the last thing that we would do is cater to your feelings. So coming out of my father's house, going into the workspace, I'm conditioned to speak truth. It's innate. It was sold in my father's house. I'm not conditioned to care about your feelings first. I'm conditioned to tell the truth first. Now, in telling the truth, I have to make sure that I balance this truth or say this truth with such meekness and seasoning that you don't feel like I'm attacking you, but sometimes the truth attacks. That is the environment where I'm from. You don't believe me? You need to meet my family. Come to a family gathering. My grandmother was this way. My grandfather, on both sides, were the same. So don't ask if you don't want to know the truth. Now, you take me from that environment, you place me in corporate America where everything is chess, and there's this game that's played. It's not what you say, but how you said. And most times now I've had to learn, okay, instead of telling them the truth, either being fired from a few jobs, getting in a few fights, going to jail, I've had to learn, okay, so they can't really handle the truth. So here's what you want to do. If you want to get them the truth, give them the truth in the form of a question. Give them a statement in form of a question to make them think or arise in their thinking, in their mind, and they'll speak the truth if you ask the right question. So instead of coming in saying, well, you can't do it this way and you can't do it that way, I ask questions. Hey, what if all of us were able to do X, Y, Z? What position does that put the company in? And who would be responsible for the oversight of this particular project? What should be what is our approach? How should we be seeing this in order to accomplish? And you ask the right questions, and you make your questions, your answers in the form of a statement. That is skill. That is something that had to be learned. Hear me and hear me good. Speaking the truth came natural to me. I have an innate ability to tell you what the truth is. But it was through companionship that I had to learn everybody can't handle the truth. Now, When I said you can't live alone, I'm not saying that you have to be married. What I am saying is no matter what you're called to do and where you're called to be, you cannot navigate into higher places and operate on higher frequencies unless you have somebody with you, somebody to teach you, somebody to help govern you, somebody to remind you who you are. Nathan Cohen's. What up, little bro? Y'all make sure y'all follow Nathan Cohen's. He has a great show. I pull him up on YouTube all the time. Vonda Taylor, good morning. Vonda, we would get together this week. That's on my word. So you don't have to be married, but you do have to have someone that is with you. LaTanya Dixon, good morning. You have to have someone that is with you, someone that can help coach you, someone who can help speak what they see in you, because there are times the biggest enemy is the enemy. And there are times we are guilty of overlooking who we are in order to accommodate others. And you have to have somebody with you to remind you, hey, I see what you're doing here, and it's a wonderful work. But don't deviate from who you're called to be in order to accommodate who's around you. You shouldn't have to become a lesser of you in order for others to see the greater in them. And you have to be reminded of these things because a lot of the environments and the climates in our society, in the workplace, in the church space, a lot of these environments, believe it or not, are ego-driven. And you need someone to help you with your lingo, your language. You need someone to help you help navigate in thoughts so you don't go in the right place saying or doing the wrong thing. This is a good example. I was at the coffee shop yesterday. Dear friend stopped by the coffee shop, and she and I have been friends for years. Let me tell you the type of friendship that we have. She was dating someone. She talks to me about it. If I'm dating someone, I talk to her about it. She has these visions, and she has this this eyesight, this gift that God has given her to see in my life. A lot of things that have happened in my life, she saw it years before it happened in detail, good and bad. She saw it and she told me. So she challenges me in areas. So yesterday we're sitting in the coffee shop, and we're catching up because it's been years since we've had this space with each other, the one-on-one. We check on each other through a text, or if there's something urgent she needs to say, she'll call or leave it on my voicemail, vice versa. A lot of times, she's been in relationships, and when people are in relationships, they're real funny about how they move because they don't want to be offensive to the person that they're with. And we're living in a society where people believe that men and women can't be friends. So there's a lot of cushion that we've had to place on our friendship so that who she's with wouldn't be bothered. And I say her, not that I haven't dated. It's just that I date differently. If we gonna date, you gonna know the truth. I got friends, and I'm not getting rid of my friends because you don't like them. They were friends of mine before you got here. And if I bring you in the family and in the fold, you need to get to know them because they ain't going nowhere. You're the one new. They aren't. So that's my conviction. I can't put that on other people. So we got an opportunity to catch up yesterday. We're sitting there. A woman with child passed by. The woman looks like she's 18 months pregnant. And I say to the woman, just because I give conversation to the people that walk through the shop, hey, when are you due? She said, today. I said, are you really? She said, yes. I said, you look like it. Now, what I was trying to convey, her stomach it was obvious she was pregnant, and it looked like she was due today. Being a man, I have to at times be reminded, just because it comes up, pick it, it shouldn't come out. There's a constant reminder there. And she said to me, my friend said to me, she said, hey, here's what you just told her. You just told her she's big as a house. Because I wondered why the girl looked the way she looked when she walked off. Because when I asked her the question, when you're due, she was smiling. And when I told her, you look like it, the smile quickly went away. She didn't say another word. She turned her head and she walked off. So she went to the side to pick up her order. So when she came back around, well, before she could come back around, my friend said to me, you just told her she was big as a house. I said, that's not what I meant. She said, listen, what you should have said is you're all baby. That means all the weight is in her stomach. That way she knows that you're talking about the baby and you're not talking about her. And I said, wow, okay. You think she really believed that I was calling her big? I know I'm a woman. I know this is what she's telling me. So the lady comes back, and when she comes back through, I said, sweetheart, I was really meaning you are all baby. When I say that, you are all baby. Don't look like you have any weight anywhere else. She said, oh, thank you so much. And then she smiled. And I got a different response. I know what I meant. She didn't know what I meant. But I had to have someone with me to help me communicate what's actually in my heart. Here is the problem. And one of the biggest things that the enemy is doing to us is he's breaking up relationships. He is. There's a level of separation that is happening, and we are becoming more and more independent of each other. Technology has done that as well. One of the things that technology has done is now I don't have to come to your house. We don't have to go to eat, and we can still stay in touch. We can do it through social media, text messages, email. And what happens over time is we begin to lose the human touch. We begin to lose the rhythm that we have with each other because it's transferred. And now this rhythm is developed through technology. So slowly but surely, we begin to lose the things that should be known and common. Let me give you an example of this. I was walking my friend to her car, opened her door for her. She said, men still do this? Yeah, girl, who you been dating? Because here's the thing. In the world that we live in, where everybody is for self and everybody is inclusively exclusive, you live in your own world. You don't have to come out. We just come out of COVID where we were locked in our houses for a couple of years. So you've developed your own tendencies, and now you're bound by your own mind, and you're not able to think outside of you. So you need somebody with you. You need companionship, friendship. You need to be coached. You need a pastor. You need a leader. You need somebody in your life, a big brother, big sister, a big cousin, somebody in your life to help remind you of things about you that seemingly, because we're so close off, that we've lost in time. I met a young lady one time. She was fine. Oh yeah, she was fine. When I tell you fine, I mean fine. And I start having conversation with her. The more we converse, the more I begin to see that there's a psychological, intellectual gap. We don't think on the same frequency. And it began to bore me. Then I began to become agitated because the more I begin to speak and ask certain questions, I begin to be agitated because she didn't understand. And anybody knows me, I wasn't being philosophical. It was just how I think. I was asking certain questions such as, what do you believe your skill set is? What do you believe? What's your skill set? What's your mindset? How have your occupation helped you or hurt you? Because in dating, I'm more interested in what's in your head. And she could not deliver. She kept asking me, what do you mean? It was nobody there but me and her, and I began to look around trying to figure out myself, what we mean? What do you mean? What do I mean? It's simple. Then it hit me. We're not on the same frequency. We think differently. We don't read each other good. This is going to be a problem because I really don't like repeating myself. Don't. When I'm talking to my friends, I don't have to repeat myself. They get it. Most of my friends answer the question before I can ask because we've learned each other. We know each other. You say, well, you should have gave us some time to get to know. Nope. We can't meet on the lowest level mentally. We'll never meet on the highest level. That's the rule. Before you take the elevator, you at least need to know where the stairs are. So, she was fine and all that, but it didn't go anywhere. And after a while, India Songbird, good morning. My niece's own Precious Tankard, good morning, Precious. Valerie Billingsley, good morning. Sonara Thomas White, what's up, Nara? Good to see you. Annette Sanders, good morning. Mike Grubbs, what up, bro? So needless to say, the relationship didn't go anywhere because we couldn't, and the girl was fine. Did I tell you that? Oh, okay, I meant she was fine. Oh, yeah. But her mind was not attractive. And I turned 30 this past July 3rd, I turned 30. So at my age, baby, you can't, listen, you got to be more than fine. You got to have something in your head because eventually we're going to get to a place where, certain things no longer to move. Your teeth going to fall out, your hair going to fall out. All we're going to have is friendship. And I can't be friends with someone who's not on the same frequency. I'll be right back. Don't you go nowhere. Invite somebody to share. I'll be right back right after this.
Love your voice. Oh, you have led me through the fire in darkest night. You are close like no other. Yeah, I've known you as a father.
All right. So we couldn't meet mentally. There was a disconnect. So it wasn't going to be no heat physically. Come on, talk to the people up in here. Yeah, you ain't going to be my wife. I need a friend. So what I'm saying, and I use that as an example, you've got to have people in your corner and in your ear that speaks to where you're going and not compliment where you've been. Why do you want to have someone around you who compliments your shadow? Your shadow has no benefit to you. One of the first things when Adam and Eve got together, when he saw her, one of the first things that Adam did, he located the right one because he was in the right place. He was working. We talked about this yesterday. The reason men tend to be more occupational than they are relational is before God gave them a woman, he gave them a job. And this is one of the things that really get me. Ladies, listen to me. When it comes to work, let that man work. Let him be the provider. That is where his strength comes from. When a man is able to do what he's created to do, And when a man is able to offer security to a woman, provision to a woman, that is how his ego is fed. And trust me, ladies, you don't want a man without ego. These little PlayStation Negroes that drive your car, drop you off to work, they have nothing to live for. They have nothing that they're striving for. They're deadbeats. Their mind is gone. Something has died in them. They can't lead you because they don't even have self-direction. A man that can be trusted is a man who is given to his work. He's given to his occupation. And I hear women say all the time, yeah, but it's a balance to that. He can't just work. It's a balance to that. Well, in today's society, how do you develop that balance, especially if they're a black man? So you have men, then you have black men. Black men are minorities as women are. You know, we have minorities. What makes it even more difficult is that the opportunity for him to succeed becomes that much harder. He has to work that much harder, which means it's going to take more time. Unless God give him a miracle, it's going to take more time for him to get there than other nationalities because he's black. So you take the regular work hour, the regular 8-hour workday for a normal person, and if they're black, you need to give them 16. And I don't care how well he shines and how well he does, he's going to need more time because he has to have more time to prove, because there are more measures that he has to work through than the ordinary person. Now, when it comes to balance, well, he needs to spend time with his family, but the family need to understand that you don't have a roof without this man's occupation. So when it comes to balance, you need to know, ladies, it's not the quantity of time that he spends with you. It's the quality. You may only have him once a week or once every 3 weeks. Make it the best. You may have him 5 minutes a day. Make those 5 minutes the best 5 minutes. Stroke his ego. Love on him. You know, you're married. Ride him real good. Come on, pick it. I said it. Put your hands on his knees. And ride, baby. Ride him. Make him feel like there's nobody else in the world that God could have created more better than him. And when you do that, and when that man ego is filled because of your appreciation, he will die trying to prove to you how great he is. Oh, yeah. Get that thing off your head. What they call the things? You girl, put them things y'all wear on your head to cover your hair. Some of y'all leave the house. Get them things off your head. What they call? Come on, help me out, precious. What do they call? Help me. Bonnet. God ain't make no bonnets. God is not behind the bonnet spirit. He ain't behind. Take that bonnet off. Let him see your hair. I don't touch my hair. He the one paid to get it done. Take them darn bonnets off and let him run his hand. Because if he don't run his hand through your hair, Sheila is waiting. Uh-oh. Oh. Sheila is waiting. Take that bonnet off. When that man comes home from a hard day's work, take them flannel pajamas off. Be enticing to him. Give him something to see. Occupy his time and his mind. Yes, sir. Get you some chocolate and some whipped cream. Come on, Pickett. Okay. The moral of the story, you make him happy at home, he won't shop anywhere else. And there's another misconception, lie, that this generation is telling, and that is all men, ain't none of them no good. Well, if that be the case, if there's not a man that is no good, guess what? It ain't a good woman either, because she came out of him. If he's poison, she's poisonous, because what's in him is in her. You've had bad experiences in relationship. You've had bad encounters in relationship, but a bad experience or a bad encounter does not constitute the entire male race. There are over 7 billion people on planet Earth. You haven't met a third of them, and you're going to just throw the whole race, the whole gender away because you had a few dogs? No, I'm finna help somebody, but I'm finna hurt somebody. I'm getting ready to help somebody, but I'm finna hurt somebody. If the truth be told, when a man gets with a woman gets with a man, and that person ends up being a dog or someone you can't trust, or no good, how were you able to get them? Let me say it a different way. If you were skillful in thought, skillful in discernment, you'd be able to spot the dog. You say, well, he fooled me, or well, she fooled me. Well, the only reason they were able to fool you is there was something absent in you that they could pull the wool over your eye. So it's you being depleted of the wisdom that is necessary to make the proper choices, and it's not them taking advantage and being a dog. You're the blame for your choices. You chose that dog. You say, well, he was real skillful or she was clever. Okay, you're still the blame because it was what you didn't know that gave them access to you to take advantage of you. So shut your mouth about men ain't no good. Close your mouth about women ain't no good. The human race ain't no good. But there are good people out there, and the whole ideology of men or women not being any good is a plot of the devil to keep you by yourself. Now you've got to depend on things that are artificial to make you happy. Get that rose out your bed. That rose ain't real. He's a God of authenticity. Everything he created is real. And it's not his will for you to depend on something that is fake. Get that doll out your room. Get that rose out your bed. Artificial stimulation. Pickett, you're talking good. I know it. It's not as well either for you to be chicken chokers. God never intended that chicken to be choked. So there's a level of authenticity that we're being robbed of. And we're being robbed of what's real, depending on what's fake, because we've concluded in our mind that there's no one good out there for us. And the enemy has you right where he wants you. If you need a church home, you're welcome to come to Encounter Church. We are accepting all members. We tell the truth. Oh, yeah, line by line, precept upon precept. We have service Sundays at 1 p.m. Here's the other reality. We've not been confronted with truth, so we don't know how to fairly judge. Precious, I will accept you from Atlanta. We're working on our media ministry. We're going to be going live in the next week or two. You'll be able to watch us on social media too. So the truth has been altered. When the truth is altered, faith cannot grow. Faith comes by hearing. That word hearing literally means understanding the word of God. But if the truth is not being told, understanding is not being given. If there is no understanding, there can be no faith. In the absence of faith, ignorance begins to reign. So if ignorance is reigning, you're going to constantly choose the wrong people. Never seen such a generation that betrays each other. Just no loyalty nowhere, not even in friendship. But it's because of the absence of truth. You know, many people, that absence of truth is because they've been exposed to something that hurt them, and now they have their guards up so they can't be hurt again. So they've closed up their arms of mercy. All of us got stuff that we're working on. All of us got stuff that we're trying to work out. And this is why you need companionship. Companionship doesn't necessarily mean marriage. I'm not saying you need to be married. Some of you do. You're burning in your britches. You need to get married. You're going through all these people. You got community underclothes on. You need to be married. Now, you need to settle some of that fire while you're single and figure out what the root of it is so you don't make a mess of the marriage. Because if you burning and you get married and you've not discovered what the root of it is, you can take that into your marriage, and now you make that person's life a living hell because you can't stay home. You're all in everybody else's bed. Let me give you something else. I'm almost done here. The absence of truth that comes through companionship or comes through hearing or come through someone who's not afraid to tell the truth. When there's an absence of truth, people marinate on lies. For you to believe a lie shows us how empty of truth you really have, because when you have truth on the inside, it can discern a lie. It can discern a liar. Sometimes it's not immediate. Sometimes you have to go home and think about it. I don't know how many times I've greeted people, seen people, and in the moment, certain things get past me, but I go home and I think about, you know what? I think he tried me when he said such and such, and I have to think. Sometimes it's immediate, it's on the spot. Other times it is not. But I get home and give some sight to it and begin to think about it. Sharice Aiken White, good morning. And I'm telling you, that wisdom meter kicks in. And when it kicks in, I'm able to say, you know what? Got to watch him. Yeah. You need people in your life who's not afraid to speak the truth, who cares about you and your destiny to the point that they will upset where you are because they know that there's something greater in you to be greater in the future. This generation is so soft and everything has to be sanitized, and we can no longer tell, hey, you're wrong. They crumbling and you know, ready to shut you down. What is the generation? It's called what is it called when they shut somebody down? Y'all help me. What is it called? What they did to Kimberell? What is it called? Where they shut you down, they don't support you. Help me out. There's too many of y'all on for y'all not to know too. It's called canceled. Thank you, Precious. They'll cancel you. You say so. You speak what they don't like. They'll cancel you. Let me tell you something about being canceled. There is a way you can come against the cancel culture. Thank you, Kay. It is a way. If you don't believe me, I don't know what's going on. I can't remember these names. Dave Chappelle showed you how to cancel the cancel culture. He did. They didn't cancel him. They tried. It didn't work. You need people in your corner that can see around the corner for you and with you and have your best interest at heart. It could be a manager, a mentor. It could be a coach. It could be a pastor. It could be a leader. It could be a worship leader. It could be a friend. It could be family. You need it could be your spouse. You need someone with you that's going to help you see clearly and communicate effectively without you having to dumb yourself down. You can't live alone. That's coffee time this morning. I wish that you would join me tomorrow. Oh, yeah, I can't wait till tomorrow. I got I got something I've been working on for tomorrow. Tomorrow, I give you a little bit of what we're talking about. I'm going to give you a little bit. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about when people show you who they are and how to rightfully discern. Some people are evil. Some people have just made bad choices. And some people are operating in ignorance. How do we know who's who? You got to tune in tomorrow. We're going to be talking about that because so many of us have put ourselves in position to constantly be hurt by the same person. Different face, same person. You need to tune in tomorrow. That's what we're going to be talking about. I love you and I appreciate you. For those that support us financially, listen to me. Your financial dollars make a difference. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of you. You can also support and help support by giving to $ Sponsor Coffee Time on the Cash App. That's how we're able to take care of our expenses. That's how we're able to also help other people. Our primary mission is to help the people around us. All right. Listen, you were born to win. You're born to win, predestined to succeed. There's nothing that can happen to you today that the wisdom on the inside of you cannot handle. You've got to calm down, slow down, be quiet, trust God, use emotional intelligence, and keep your mouth closed. When you allow wisdom to speak, you will always win. Go have a great day and be great. Be praying for me. I've got an offer on the table to go back into radio. I've been talking to them the past 3 weeks to a month. Be praying for me because I've got to have the personnel to make these decisions. So I need your prayers. If you you want to visit our church, you can do so at Encounter Church, 600 King Street, Jacksonville, Florida, 32205. Every Sunday at 1:00 p.m. We generally do our service, maybe an hour, 5 minutes, but we get in there, we worship God, praise him, get a word, and we get out. I'd love to see your smiley faces. Tell a friend, bring somebody to church Sunday. I'd love to see you. You all have a great, productive day, and always remember to think higher, speak life. Peace.
Listen, I need it in the morning, I need it at night. He always keeps it brewing, he always keeps it tight. Just a little sip, it'll get you right. Terrence Pickett always be the one that gets the coffee right. The coffee's right, the coffee's right in my life. It's never a wrong time over crime to get what's yours and to get what's mine. Come on, coffee time, coffee time.